and cold. Some days are warm and sunny, some days I can't believe I do this for the money. I stop by the Wawa for a strong coffee and fuel. The world's biggest duck boat is ready to roll. When the ducks show up, I'll call the shot. Boom, 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 ready or not. The Pitboss Live has its ups and
Are live. A very happy Tuesday evening from PBHQ. Boom, my crown royal, my crown black salute. This is the Pitboss Podcast live right here on Instagram. Excuse me, I'll slow down. On Instagram. Brought to you by very good friends at Molly's Place Sporting Goods. Molly's.com. Also brought to you by Crabs to Go. Crabstogo.com. Hello to everyone joining us. Thank you very much. Gunner Kennels. Gunner got... I really need to slow down. Let me have a hit of iced tea. Gunner Kennels. Gunner.com. Oh, my Lanta. How about now? There we're back. Gunner Kennels. Gunner.com. Duckwater Boats. Steve Hoover thinking of you. We are duckwaterboats.com. The ultimate outdoor oven is the Duck Blind Bistro, duckblindbistro.com. Turtlebox, turtleboxaudio.com. DMAX, dmax.com. DEEMAXX.com. Huntproof, huntproof.app, huntproof.app. All right, our guest this afternoon will be Mr. Jimmy Muller. Check this bad boy out right here. That is Sex Miss. Jimmy, are you there? We'll give Jimmy a minute to get on and bring him on live. Right here. There he is. Appreciate all the positive comments. Thank you very much. Jimmy, are you there? There you are.
How you doing, brother?
Happy Tuesday to you. Are you just off the water?
Cheers. Yeah, we are. We just getting the boat cleaned up and ready for when we get back from Florida. So we're going down there, see the office, hang out with Devin and Lauren, do a little tarpon fishing. John Ketchum and Liz are going to join us. We're going to smoke some. It's going to be great, man.
May I wish you a happy early birthday.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
100%. Jimmy, please introduce yourself. I know many people here. I've seen some names that definitely know who you are. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Jimmy Muller, the owner and inventor of Muller Chokes. And, that's what we do. There you go. Bam.
Boom. Jim, I want to talk about duck hunting, but how long have you been making chokes?
So I started making my own chokes in 1993, Jeff. Not to sell, but just for my own advantage, because I had to buy, a whole bunch of chokes to try to get a couple to pattern right. And when I saw that basically it was the geometry in the choke that was creating the pattern, not the exit diameter, I realized that, a choke's not a choke based on definition of what we've always known and even what we know today, other than what I've been teaching and practicing. So made my own chokes back then, never looked back, did aerospace defense all my life. And back in 2008, when the economy tanked, I lost all my aerospace defense customers. So I basically lost my entire income in about a week's time. So I'm like, what am I going to do now? How am I going to pay the bills? What am I going to do? And I knew that I had invented and created the best choke in the world because I had fixed every problem and inadequacy every choke had that was on the market. So I said, hey, let me patent it, bring it out of the closet, see if it'll help me pay the bills. And thank God it literally took off. And in 2 years' time, my clay target choke actually revolutionized clay target sports all over the world. Broke world records, all sorts of good stuff.
That's an awesome story. What if I missed it? I'm sorry. What year did you start manufacturing?
93 is when I made my first choke, but I started actually making chokes to sell in 2009. And patented it, brought it out of the closet December of 2009, and then built a website middle of 2010. And that was just clay target competition chokes. I had actually created my hunting choke back in 93, but what had happened was the clay target chokes that I had patented, they took off so fast and so heavy that I was working 16 hours a day, and I started going on back order.
Oh my.
So there was no way that I could add another lineup to what I was already doing. And then back, I would say 2015, I really wanted to start to get into the hunting chokes. So I could not get there because I was just so busy with the clay target chokes. So I finally got to the point where I had enough machines, a big enough crew, enough production to finally sort of step off of the clay target chokes a little bit to start to build the hunting choke production that I had already invented, created, and perfected. And I would say basically 5 years ago is when I really ramped up production on that hunting choke and started marketing it. And the last 4 years, I've been really paying a lot of time and attention to marketing that product. And it's been tremendous. It's been wonderful. We literally have 100% positive feedback, and it's really helped a lot of people. So
There's all kinds.
thankful.
Yes, thank you. There's all kinds of positive comments coming here below. Hunting chokes. What am I holding right here? Can you? I keep posting these up, and everybody keeps. I won't say they're going crazy over them, but there's definitely lots of interest in these. And I do like to say these are inspired by the Surf Scoter Drake's build. But go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what you have there, Jeff, are all passing chokes in 28, 20, and 12 gauge. So basically that one in your right hand, I believe, is the 28 gauge Benelli Cryo Plus.
There's
Yep.
20. Yep.
Yep. And then the 20 gauge, I believe that's a Beretta Mobile choke for the A300.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's a Cryo Plus you're holding there.
But I was going to say, I wasn't going to correct you, but yes.
Yep, the Cryo Plus. And then that's your Cryo Plus 12 gauge for your Benelli.
All right. So in your hunting chokes, what do you have? I had somebody ask me today what these were and what they were looking for. And I told them that basically, a decoying. You have decoying and passing.
Yeah. So actually, one correction, Jeff. That 12 gauge Cryo Plus you're holding, that's the new Sea Duck Plus.
Okay.
So that's the Sea Duck on steroids.
Okay.
Or the passing on steroids. Same choke.
So this would be tighter than the passing choke.
Yes, it will be. So
right.
Basically, that new Sea Duck Plus that I do very limited edition. What that choke is it's
yes, there it is.
Yep, it's a blend between the passing and the UFO in regards to exit diameter. But as I had mentioned, exit diameter is grossly secondary to the geometry in the choke for the gun it's in. So over the last 2 years, I've really been dialing in special geometry in that choke so I could basically shoot steel, copper, bismuth, tungsten, heavy shot, Spheros 15, heavyweight 13, anything you want, including, ball bearings, buckshot. So what that choke is it's going to give you a tighter pattern than a passing or regular Sea Duck past that 40-yard mark.
Right.
But it's not going to blow your pattern like a UFO would. So you could shoot, steel through it, not worry about it. You could shoot bismuth through it without fracturing it. It's just going to be phenomenal for advanced shooters that are wanting to put big eiter and scoter down beyond that 40-yard mark consistently. And if you're shooting TSS through it, it's a 100-yard choke.
Very nice, very nice. And I was going to say that's one thing I've heard you. I listen to pretty much everything you have out there, or people that have had you on. I do listen to it, and that is one of your saying. Well, I'm saying doesn't sound correctly, or that doesn't sound like positive. But basically, you say you can shoot anything through your chokes. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, and the only thing that I've changed recently, Jeff, is the UFO. So when I developed my chokes, it was decoy, passing, UFO, like you mentioned. The decoy and passing is the streamline or the mainstream for waterfowl, ducks, geese. Even the passing choke is the ultimate big game choke because it's phenomenal with buckshot, coyote tees, slugs. I have 3-gun national champions shooting that passing choke, and it's phenomenal. And through my marketing, what I had done was I had said to everybody, hey, no ammo limits through any of my hunting chokes. But the mistake I made was I assumed that everybody knew that because my UFO doubled as my turkey choke and doubled as my turkey strut and was defined as an extra full because it's over 40 thousandths constriction, I assumed people would understand you would never shoot steel through that. I mean, who would shoot steel through a turkey choke? I mean, I always thought people knew better. Well, they didn't. So then what happened was people are shooting steel BBs through it. People are shooting big stacked BB and 2 loads through it. They're blowing their pattern. They're swelling the choke sometimes in some of the thinner walled chokes. Like Beretta Optima HP is a very thin choke. And, you know, you're shoving big triple BB or T's through it or stacked BB2 at 1550 and they're swelling the choke and it's getting a little tight. So I finally said, you know what, I've got to make it more clear to people and help them understand that this is truly a turkey choke. And if you look at my original brochures, it says it's a turkey choke. It's made for lead and TSS. It is not for steel shot. It's not even good with bismuth because it fractures the pellets. It's too tight, you know? So anyway, so I like to say decoy and passing is the mainstream waterfowl choke. They have no limit whatsoever. And you don't need anything more than that. The decoy is solid out to 40 yards with steel, copper, bismuth, 65 with TSS, and with really good steel shot like flight day ammo, you could literally smoke mallards out to 50 yards with that decoy choke without an exaggeration. So 90% of duck hunters should be shooting a decoy choke if they're hunting puddle ducks. If you're hunting sea ducks, divers, and geese, and you're shooting beyond 35 yards, then by all means use the passing choke or the sea duck. And if you're shooting beyond that 40-yard mark consistently, because you can, because you've been practicing off season on sporting clays and you're a good shooter, then by all means, you know, go for the Sea Duck Plus as well.
So something you just said in there. So are you telling me that you believe, and I've heard you say this before, so I've been scared to do this, but when you're here in October, we're going to do this. Chokes, why do chokes get stuck in guns? Maybe, I don't know what percentage, let's say 90% of the time, why does a choke get stuck in a barrel?
So 90% of the times it's actually for 2 reasons, about 50-50 of that 90%. Number one is they're shooting big steel shot or something they shouldn't be through that choke, and it actually swages the threads of the choke into the barrel. The choke becomes one with the barrel. You cannot get it out unless you machine it out because it's literally welded into the barrel, metal to metal. The other 50% is rust. So what a lot of people do is they put a choke in, whether it's a flush mount factory, an extended factory, or even a lot of aftermarket hunting chokes. They will actually put them in. They don't take them out often. They don't re-grease them. They don't clean them. They just leave them in and they shoot them for years, right? And I think we've all been guilty of that as duck hunters. I've been duck hunting since 1975, and I can assure you I was guilty of that as well. And they rust in. So if a choke rusts into the barrel, chances are you're not going to get it out with any conventional method. Sometimes you can put Croil on it, let it soak for a few days, but a lot of times you have to put a channel lock on it, a vice grip, or the best thing to do if you knowing you have to destroy the choke if it's extended, you drill a 3/8 hole across both walls. You put a 5/16 inch Allen wrench in it with a pipe on it, and you just crank it out that way because it doesn't collapse the choke or flex it to make it oval or oblong and pressurize inside the barrel. It comes out much easier if you do it that way. If you have a flush mount choke, you could go to a plumbing supply house, get a 5/8 ID pipe wrench, and have a couple of your strong buddies hold that barrel, and you could try to get that flush mount choke out. If that doesn't work, you have to bring it to a good machinist or gunsmith so they can machine it out of your barrel. This is one of the things that I corrected with my chokes. They're rust proof. So all of the hunting chokes and my featherlight chokes for clay targets and upland, they will not rust. My hunting chokes and my featherlights, I've put in a chub trap behind me off my dock saltwater marsh, tidal marsh, dries up in mud at low tide, and then, obviously covers at high tide. And I've put my chokes in minnow traps for up to 6 weeks at a time, take them out, clean them off with like WD-40, get rid of all the grass, seaweed, and the algae, and it looks brand new. You could actually put it in your gun and shoot it. So they don't rust. You don't have to worry about them getting stuck in your gun. And as long as you don't shoot, things you shouldn't be, like big steel through the UFO, you're never going to have to worry about a choke swelling into your barrel with Muller chokes.
Very nice. So my number of 90%, so it's more, you think 50, like 50-50 shooting the wrong?
I would say it's close to 50-50 from what I've seen over the decades. Rust from, just not maintaining. And also, that swaging of threads because they're shooting, big steel shot through a soft modified or an improved mod or a full or an extra full. And a lot of chokes out there are softer than your shotgun barrels, which Mullers are not. I actually harden them harder than your barrels after I machine them. So I machine them in a annealed state, which is very difficult to do. And then I harden them after I machine them. So when you get them, they're as hard as they could be without being brittle. Because some choke companies out there make them out of a tool steel. They harden them way too hard and then they crack because they're too brittle. So there's a happy medium of all that in metallurgy. So, and you got to pay attention to that.
Well, when you're here with me in October, we're going to break out some factory chokes with a pair of vice grips. And I do want to, I want you to be here when we do it. That's all.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun doing that.
So with these threads, what would you recommend to someone to specifically for your choke to coat the threads with?
So a lot of people just put oil on, but oil just dissipates and evaporates with heat. So oil's not what you want to use unless you're literally putting them in and taking them out the same exact day. So if you're on a sporting clay course and you're shooting the same choke a lot, if you're out duck hunting with salt water and snow and ice and rain, you want to put a good bearing grease on those chokes. Screw them in. And, if you put a good bearing grease on, we sell it on our website as choke tube grease, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It's bearing grease from Lucas or West Marine or whatever have you. It's made for saltwater corrosion proof. It's made for pressure. It's made for high heat. It's made for all of the things that your shotgun choke is going to experience and go through. So, so basically just take some grease, put it on the threads. You can even put it down, a little bit over the body of the choke down there. Screw it in, lock it in good with one of our choke wrenches or just lock it in tight with your hand and go for it. When you do that, you're able to leave that choke in there literally for a couple weeks with no problem, without having a problem of getting it out. So it doesn't get dry. It doesn't get crusty from carbon going around it. So you can get it out, no problem.
So I've never asked you this, and maybe you can laugh at me or tell me I'm wrong, but I've been using basically, especially with the duck boat trailers in the salt water, all the stainless steel bolts and hardware. I've been using basically the anti-seize, the silver.
Yep. So with anti-seize on some of the threads and some of the guns, you're okay with that. And it also depends on which anti-seize it is. Depends on the grit size, okay? Some anti-seize compounds, because they make different ones, right? Silicon carbide, aluminum oxide, copper, molybdenum, manganese, just a bunch of different ones. If you use some of the wrong ones that are a little too coarse and a little hard on the grit, the threads are too shallow and too fine in the shotgun barrel, and it can actually bind up and cause your choke to be very tight in the barrel. It's almost like shoving sand in the threads.
Okay.
Even though it has grease and it's made to be anti-seize, it does create an anti-seize scenario because of those grits with the grease. But if those grits bind up, it acts as literally a wedge, and it can cause some serious issues. So I always refrain from using anti-seize.
Copy. So I need to put bearing grease on these.
Bearing grease is going to be your friend.
All right. Well, that's what I'm going to change up. Because honestly, I didn't know any different. I've never asked you. but that's what, especially last year when we kind of changed out everything. I again, anti-seize, I use it nonstop with the brake. With the disc brake systems that I use, I'm nonstop. Use that stuff everywhere, especially in the salt water. I'm taking the boat in next week to get it serviced, and I'm going to switch the hubs out before I do that. So I use that stuff all the time.
Absolutely. Anti-seize definitely has its place for all that. It's just the threads on those chokes and barrel are so shallow, Jeff. And
that makes sense.
Fine.
Yep.
I mean, the threads on that choke you're holding up right there on the Benelli Cryo Plus, those threads are only 13 thousandths of an inch deep per side.
Okay.
So they're very shallow.
Makes sense. Thank you. I have learned something this evening, so I appreciate that.
Awesome. You're very welcome.
No, thank you. Hey, I don't want to hold you up. I appreciate you jumping on with us, but I got a couple of quick questions. But what I really want to do is have you come back on whenever you have the time and do a in-length, in-depth, a real podcast, not just the Instagram Live, but do a real, a true podcast where we can talk about much more things. I have not even talked to you about duck hunting yet. I just real quick, puddle ducks, divers, or sea ducks?
Sea ducks.
Coffee or whiskey?
Coffee.
Well, you already said sea ducks, but ducks or geese?
Ducks.
Favorite species?
To hunt or to collect?
To hunt. To shoot?
Either.
There you go. Favorite place you've hunted?
Saskatchewan, Saskatoon.
I did Prince Albert one time, many years ago. It was very enjoyable. I agree with you on that. Favorite shotgun?
Beretta A400 Extreme Plus for duck hunting.
Hunt sunrise or sunset?
Where I live, sunset. Sea duck, sunrise.
Copy that. Dog or no dog?
No dog.
What is always in your blind bag?
A lot of ammo.
We didn't even talk about, I know you like to reload, and that's something I want to talk about too, but we can, if you have the time, sometime we can dive deep into that if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Jimmy, where can people follow along with you?
So I've got 4 things on Facebook. I've got Jimmy Muller on Facebook. I've got Muller Hunting Chokes. I've got Muller Competition Chokes. And I have a Muller Hunting fan page. That's all on Facebook. I also have an Instagram, and I also have a YouTube channel. And then, of course, I've got an awesome website. That's MullerChokes.com. That's MULLER, not MUE.
But it is awesome, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Stephen BLO, he's been following along with us. Stephen, thank you for checking in with us. He's I think he's been here since the beginning. So
nice.
Jimmy, we will take this. I'm going to download this. Obviously, it'll be right here on Instagram. We'll make it a reel so everybody can come back and watch that. Plus, I'll put this on YouTube and all the major podcast platforms the audio will be. So
awesome, Jeff. Thank you, man. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Last words to you, Jimmy.
Yep. Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much. This is the Pit Boss. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate everything you do. I can't wait to get together with you in October. It's going to be a blast, man. We're going to get some. We're going to get some my lantas and hopefully no train wrecks. And we're going to show people what things can really do.
Shoot them one at a time.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to come on. A very happy birthday to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Jeff.
And this has been the Pit Boss Podcast Live right here on Instagram, brought to you by our very good friends at Molly's Place Sporting Goods. Jimmy, we got to get you in Molly's Place.
Oh, yeah, man. I love Molly's.
The other night I posted up I said we're in a big group chat. I sent the chokes out, and they were like, ooh. And I was like, hey, man, like he could do – actually, this would kind of be – even though I'm calling this Surf Scooter Orange, this would be very much Molly's Place Orange, I think.
Absolutely.
I think it would go.
We could do anything you need.
Jimmy, thank you again. I appreciate you, and we appreciate everybody following along right here on this Pit Boss Podcast Live on Instagram. As always, thinking of you, we are. Boom. A very happy Tuesday to everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Be safe.
You too.
Thank you.